Yeah, we know.
lady. She is an author, a writer, a speaker, a mentor, a coach, a computer geek. She's like your all-around, round-the-way girl. And she's going to do a workshop called Communication is Queen. So I'm introducing to you Miss Yolanda Johnson. I introduce her, give her all your energy. I'm trying to be high energy. And I say that because I am an entrepreneur, and I'm usually going to bed when most of you are waking up. So right now it's approximately 11:10. What would most of you guys be doing this morning? Sleep until 1 o'clock. Till 1 o'clock. I'm asleep right now. What would you be doing?
My grandmother's
My mom would beat me out of bed.
Look, I always had to get up. I don't know.
First, let's thank Miss Sandra for putting me on. I guarantee when you leave here, there'll be something out of this whole conference that you will be able to take back and apply it to your life. We're going to talk about communication, and I'm an old lady, so bear with me here. I might not be able to see. I always plan for a plan B. There's a plan A and a plan B. Plan A was that we're going to use a PowerPoint, but just in case it didn't work, I made the handouts. And since the PowerPoint is working, paper costs money, so I'm going to decide to go ahead and give them to you guys. So let's go ahead and start. Communication is queen. And I use queen because we're all queens. You guys are all beautiful queens. Every last one of you, I'm looking at you as you're walking by. Every last one of you are beautiful. Being beautiful doesn't just being beautiful doesn't cut it. You have to learn how to communicate. I'll give you a couple examples. You are communicating this. You would rather be somewhere else than right here. I know, but that's your communication. She communicates to me that she's cold and she would rather be sitting home watching TV, right? You'd rather be asleep? Okay, okay. Let's see if I can pick somebody else out. Are you cold? She's cold. So, if somebody is meeting you for the first time, they're going to base their initial meeting with you based upon your communication. And there are several forms of communication, and I'm going to talk about 4. But can anyone name any various forms of communication? Body language, verbal. Look at the paper, huh? Anybody else find one that's not on the paper? Okay. Good. We're going to talk about body language. Because if someone walked in right now and looked at your body language, they would have different or mixed messages. And unfortunately, people do make their first assumption on how they first see you. So if you are standing in the hallway, let's say you're at school and you're standing in a hallway, you're like this, someone may be afraid to approach you. It may not be that you're mad or upset or you just maybe have bad posture. Or maybe you had a bad day or maybe you're tired. And maybe you are really a friendly person, but someone may be afraid to approach you. If you have a mean look on your face, they may be afraid to approach you. But if you're standing in a positive stance and you're smiling, they may be more apt to walk up to you and say, "Hi, my name is." One thing that you girls will learn as you grow older is that you will attend a lot of networking events. In networking events, it is important and key that you keep a positive body language. Because networking is where you make all your contacts. Whether you're going into business for someone else, and especially if you're going into business for yourself. What are some of the occupations that people want to do in here? What do you want to do? A teacher? What do you want to be? A pediatrician? Fashion designer. Okay, so let's say we're at a networking event. You're a fashion designer, you're a pediatrician, and you're a teacher. I walk in, I have this business and I have this great idea that I saw a dress and I want someone to make it for me. And someone says, "Well, that lady over there, she's a fashion designer. Maybe you should talk to her." But you're standing on the wall like this, like you really don't want to be there. You could lose out on potential money. You could call them clients, but clients eventually equal money. because people are looking at you like you're not approachable. So when you're at a networking event, you want to make sure that you appear approachable. You don't want to mess up your money. Same thing with a pediatrician. I may have a young child, actually I have grandchildren, but one of my grandchildren may need a doctor. And I'm new to the area. Someone may refer you, and because you're smiling and inviting, I may walk up to you before I walk up to her if she's looking mean, wondering what school I should put my grandchild in. So it's very important that we give off the right kind of communication. Now, we're going to talk about physical, verbal, written, and electronic. Okay, we just talked about body language. Okay, there we go. So we talked about body language. Now, forms of body language are how you hold your arms. If you're holding your arms, to most people, this is a defensive tactic. This means don't come near me, or don't get too close, because I don't want to be bothered, or I don't know you, or I don't really want to be here. Most people will walk away from people that are standing like this. There's also your stance. If you're standing like this, or if you're standing like this, people will avoid that too. But if you're standing up straight with good posture, people are more likely to approach you. Eyes. Some of you guys look at me right now like, oh my God, I cannot wait till lunch. I wish you would just shut up. That will deter people from approaching you when you really don't want that to happen. Your mouth. You know how some of you guys do. You want to be careful, especially if you're in a setting where you want to impress someone. And when I say impress someone, let's say you're going to an admission interview for college, or you're going to a job interview. You want to make sure you're sitting up in front of a chair straight in front of the person that's interviewing you. You don't want to be slouched over the chair like, yeah, okay, yeah, what time do I start? You know, you won't get the job. So you want to leave a first impression. They're very, very important. Posture, again, straight posture. Some of us don't naturally have it, so we have to teach ourselves how to have it. You know, just walk like, because some, you know, you guys see people who walk like this. I mean, that may be cool. Their friends say, yes, you have. Yes, you have. If not a female, you've seen some guys walk like this.
Not a lot.
Okay. But if it's not in a friendly atmosphere, a professional atmosphere, you want to make sure you have a positive posture. Again, I mentioned the arms, defensive. Your mouth can be defensive. Something I've had to learn over the years. My mom used to always tell me, and I'm just the friendliest person, my mom used to tell me, you always look mean, why don't you smile? As I grew older, you always look mean, why don't you smile? I'm a Toastmaster. Does anyone know what Toastmasters is? No. Toastmasters is an organization that helps you, go ahead. Oh, is she? Okay, great. Toastmasters is an organization that helps you with public speaking. A lot of people have fear of public speaking. Some people fear standing right here talking to a small group of people. They get really scared and nervous. Or they have to talk to thousands of people, and they're fearful of talking in front of all those people because they don't know those people. They don't know if they're going to laugh, if they're going to receive their information. So Toastmasters teaches you how to do that and be confident with doing that. Teaches you how to be a good listener, a good thinker, and a good leader. So, I have a mentor. I'm not sure if any of you know too many people in Greensboro. I'm fairly new here, even though it's been 5 years. I still say I'm new. But Angel Guerrero is my mentor in Toastmasters. And when he mentors me, he tells me to this day, you did a great speech, but you didn't smile. You looked angry, you looked upset. And I just said, that's just how I look. But what I do now is I go in the mirror as I'm practicing my speeches, and I'll try to smile more. And I realize the reason why I do what I do. Even at, how many of you can guess how old I am?
37.
Oh, I love you. Go ahead.
There's a prize for that one.
Wow. I am 43. Thank you. I'm 43 years old, and I realized that all my life, the gap has run in my family.
No.
My mother loved her gap. I hate my gap. And when I smile, because I have fat cheeks, I look like a chipmunk. See? I don't like that. And that was probably why I didn't smile as much as why I looked mean, because as I'm talking, I'm trying to cover my top lip. And I got to a point where after I turned 40, I was just like, you know what? They're going to either accept it or not. I'm going to have to live with it unless I get braces, whatever. So I'm dealing with it. But practice, if you're not used to smiling all the time or having a positive look on your face, practice in the mirror. You guys are all beautiful, and I know some of you know you are beautiful. So, yeah, work it. And then be confident. Even if you're not confident, and that happens sometimes where you're not confident, one of my mottos is fake it till you make it. No one will know you're not confident unless you tell them or unless you display it. So act like you're confident, even if you don't feel like you're confident. They won't know unless you tell them. And then, again, some of the negative body language can make you appear unapproachable. Verbal. The first one is tone of voice. I have this problem with my husband. My husband is from Atlantic City. Very friendly guy. But his family talks so loud. And as he's talking to me, he's interesting, except it just irritates me. So what I found myself doing is when I'm like, okay, bring in your inside voice. And that irritates him. But what I started doing was, as he's talking louder and louder and louder, and the more excited he gets, the louder he gets, I just walk away. And he's like, are you not listening? And I'm like, you know, sometimes to some people that can be offending. That can be intimidating to people. When you're used to people talking in a normal tone of voice, and they start talking loud, you're like, okay, I don't want to talk to you because you're kind of crazy, you know. So watch your tone of voice, which goes with the volume. You know, if you're inside, be mindful that you are inside. Be mindful of the other people around you. Be mindful that if you're in a private conversation, you may not want everybody to hear your conversation. Yes.
Me and my mom were watching Tabitha's Mom and she was and that's when she was doing behind hair and she said that when she's nervous she gets loud.
Some people do that, and it again, you know, it helps them build their confidence, or they really have a lack of confidence. But you have to be very careful, because in a setting like that, in a beauty shop, if you have new customers or clients coming in, and they may be offended or intimidated by the loud speaking, they may go somewhere else to get their hair done. So just be mindful of your setting. Now, if you're outside in a concert, you might have to talk loud because you can't hear over the music. Yes.
My grandma, she talks so loud, so like, even if she's not trying to be mean or something, like it feels like she is. So like one time we were at a wedding loud, and she said, because she had got a little the funnel cake, and she's like, this is warm, it's not hot. And then she started yelling, and then everybody was looking over near the funnel cake stand. That's when they finally just gave me and they put another one.
Well, if I got a warm funnel cake and I wanted it hot, I probably would have gotten that one too. That's one thing my husband hates about me. If I'm going to a store or a restaurant where I'm paying my money and I don't get the service, I will get loud if I don't get the service. So that's just, you know, I'm working on that. So but she got what she wanted, right?
Yeah.
But you still have to be very careful in doing that. That's not always acceptable. Speaking clearly, and I use my family a lot because I use them as my guinea pigs. My son is 21 years old. He's my baby. And he does not talk clearly. I'll talk to him on the phone. He'll be like, Mom, I'm like, what did you say? Open your mouth and pronounce your words, because that will irritate people and that will cause people to walk away or not want to deal with you, because it's frustrating. They may not want to hurt your feelings and say, you know, what did you say? They may be trying to strain to listen to what you were saying, but after a while, They get a headache trying to figure out what you're saying. So they just completely shut down. So open your mouth and speak clearly. Now, me, I'm recuperating. I had a stroke in 2006. So my speaking was totally impaired, which is one of the reasons why I joined Toastmasters. I could barely speak. I had lost my job because I couldn't speak. But now I'm getting better. I noticed that I talk fast a lot. Sometimes I do stutter, but it's getting better. But I realized not being able to speak the way that I wanted to speak, I lost out on a lot of business, a lot of clients, a lot of job opportunities. So I worked on that, and it's gotten a lot better. And I actually work for myself now, and I'm able to communicate with my clients a lot better. Using proper grammar. Saying things like, hey girl, that ain't gonna work. You know, that might work in your circle of friends. You don't want to go to a job interview and talk like that. Make sure you all took English in high school, in elementary and middle school. Use what you learned. I know in the age of technology, when we're texting, we use UR, have mail, or have whatever your little codes are, LOL for laugh out loud, things like that. But when you're in a professional atmosphere, or if you want someone to take you seriously, make sure you're using proper grammar. And then also, positive and negative speech. If you are in a setting and you're whispering to someone, talking, oh, she has and then you're whispering, that's kind of rude. And if someone's watching you and looking for to recruit you, let's say you're at a job fair. Job fair people, you don't realize, are watching you. Because they know eventually you're going to come up to their booth and ask for a job. But they've been watching you, and they saw you over in the corner. That automatically is going to say, you know, she's not the kind of person we want in our business. But if they see you over in the corner, introducing yourself to everyone, hi, how are you, you know, what do you do, and getting around, that tells them you have confidence to move around their company. They can trust you in their company because they know that you have the confidence to do what you need to do. Written. Written is my favorite one because, as I explained, I did have a stroke, but I'm also a published author, and I help others write books and get published. And I communicate better when I write. I'm a good writer. I can say better, I can write what I'm feeling or what I need to say better than I can actually say it. However, when I start to write, I get a little long-winded. Like some people get long when they talk, I get long-winded when I talk. I'm sorry, when I write. But when you write, make sure your communication is clear. A lot of you learned this in high school. I'm not sure if you learned it at the elementary and middle school level. I know you learned it at the high school, and I'm not sure. Is anyone in college in here? Not yet? Anyone seniors? Okay. So you know about writing clear papers, writing neat. I don't know if any of you ever paid attention to your doctor's handwriting. Anybody? Most of them, you can't read their writing at all. So, but they're probably the only industry that can really get away with that because it's just an unspoken art. But you want to make sure that it's neat so people can read what you've written. If they can't read it, they're going to put it to the side. Oh, I can't read this next. If you write a paper for, let's say you write a script for a movie and you do it handwritten. Not that they take those anymore, but if you do it handwritten, if they can't read it, they're going to throw it to the side and read the next one. So make sure it's neat. Go ahead. Make sure you write neatly. If they cannot read your name or your contact information or what your skills are, more than likely they're going to throw that application away. Because if you can't write clearly and neatly on an application, you can't do that in your work either. Emails. How many of you send emails? Wow, even in the world of texting, you guys send emails, okay? How many times have you sent an email to a friend? And it was a neutral email. When they got it, they're like, well, why are you mad at me? Why are you yelling at me? Because what was written in the email was misconstrued as anger or someone being upset. So you have to be careful when you're emailing someone. Does anyone know what all caps means?
Yelling.
It means you're yelling. So it's probably not appropriate to send a potential person your resume and send a letter with all caps. So they're going to take that the wrong way in most cases. Texting. This was a little bit hard because, like I said, you guys use UR, LOL, ROFL, what's more? SMH, be right back. What is that one? LLS? What's that one? Okay. So you guys have all these codes that you use to text people, and for those of us who use Twitter, you know we only have 140 characters, so we have to be very creative. However, there are some places that will accept job entries via Twitter. You have to be very creative with 140 characters. So the wrong letter, the wrong cap, could be a matter of you actually getting an interview or you not getting an interview. Same thing with Facebook. If you're posting a professional post on Facebook, and believe me, I'm telling you guys right now, whatever you guys are putting on Facebook, if it is bad, it will come back to haunt you. Because as much as we believe that everything online is deleted once we hit delete, that is not true. I challenge you guys to write a post, and then a few days later, go and put your name and parse of that post into Google, and it will pop up. But you've deleted it. Doesn't matter. It's out there on the World Wide Web. And people who are looking to admit you into college, to give you a job, this is where they're looking now. The first place they go is your Facebook page. Now, the young lady talked earlier about credit. If someone sends a bad debt that you have to a credit agencies, and I used to work for one, where do you think the first place we're going to look? If you're trying to hide from them, because there are people that hid from us, if you're trying to hide, where do you think the first place we're going to look? On the internet, on Facebook, and someone who posted, I have my card and paid my card note in 3 months, yeah, and you have your location service on your Facebook. It says you're Facebooking from UNCG on Tate Street. What do you think is going to happen? Exactly, but what's going to happen, and I'll tell you this, I used to work for a foreclosure company, JPMorgan Chase, and I worked for HSBC and we repo cars. As you're typing that, and you hit enter, and we see that, and we've called you several times, and you refuse to pay your car note. We've had people who say, come and find me. We're going to see that post, we see that you're right on Tate. It doesn't have to have the exact address, it just says UNCG Tate. We're going to drive down Tate Street, we're going to find your car, and you're going to come outside, it's going to be gone. So, I say all that to say, be careful what you put out there, because it's going to be a reflection of you, maybe not right now, but it's going to be a reflection of you in the future. Professional. You're going to be writing letters to gain entry in college. Make sure they're very professional. If you're not sure, make sure to ask your parents or your teachers or your guidance counselors, because the wrong words also can get a college application rejected. Personal. This is a little hard. Like I said, if you're within a group of friends, you know, some things are okay. But if you're in a networking event, you want to make sure that if you don't have business cards, which you should always have a business card, and you want to write down your information, if you write down your email and no one can read your writing, they're not going to email you. And your hair is really cute, and you may do hair, and someone may say to you, what's your name, Brietta? Brietta, I like your hair. My daughter wants her hair done like that. How can I reach you? And you'll say, well, here, Miss Yolanda, here's my email address. I can't read it. That was my only contact with you. That could have been $200 for you that you now lost out because you didn't write that clearly. And then, again, going back to the correct grammar when you write, because some people do write, it ain't going to whatever house, you know what I'm saying, it's not correct grammar, so make sure that you use correct grammar. Now, documents like Word, Microsoft Word, they have spell check. However, it's not thorough, huh? Right, exactly. But it's not thorough, because where it may miss misspellings, it may not get the correct grammar. It seems the word is spelled correctly, but it doesn't go with the next word, and it's not going to catch that. So make sure you go back and proofread what you've written. Electronic. This goes back to when I said the emails. You can send an email out to someone, and someone may take it the wrong way. So be careful what you email. And then texting. We just discussed that. Instant messaging, same thing as texting. A lot of us use instant messaging. We use Skype, we use BlackBerry Messenger, now we use Facebook Messenger. So just be very careful, again, with the caps and the abbreviations of your words. Computer and other goes down to telephone and conference. If you're talking loud on the phone, people may take that the wrong way, but be careful. It could be, sometimes our cell phone signals don't, give good signals, so you have to talk loud, or sometimes you think that you have to talk loud, and you really don't have to. So you may want to ask the other person, can you hear me at this tone? Because sometimes if you're talking too loud, they're holding the phone like this, and they're really not hearing what you're saying. They may be ignoring what you're saying. And then the same thing with video conferencing. This is where people can actually see you. You may want to, especially if it's a professional video conferencing, make sure you're watching your appearance, you're watching your body language, because again, if you're, all of a guidance counselor and you're just like this, this person doesn't really care about this, they're not interested. So make sure you are careful with that. Okay, be an excellent communicator. Leave no room for misinterpretation. Again, people usually judge what they think you are by their first appearance of you. So if you're not positive, you're not confident, they're going to think that you have low self-esteem. So you want to portray that you do have high self-esteem, you are confident. If you're at a job interview, you are confident that you can do that job better than the next person that's sitting behind you waiting to interview with that person. Speak clearly. Again, make sure that what you're saying, if you mean, I want to go over and wear, is it, what's your name, Kelsey? Kelsey, I'm sorry. Well, wear Kelsey's orange jacket. Don't say, well, I was thinking about wearing the pink one. Mean what you say and say what you mean. Speak clearly, because what you say and how it's perceived, it can be misunderstood. In your mind, what you're saying may not be what's perceived to the other person. So you have to speak clearly and be confident about what you're saying. Clarify that you've been understood correctly. Sometimes if you're talking to someone and you say something, they may look at you like, so that's a cue that they really didn't understand, or there was something that they missed. Ask them if they understood you, if you need to re-explain yourself. Inspire others. I say inspire others. One thing that I do as that literary lady, I'm known around Greensboro as that literary lady. Actually, I'm known all over as that literary lady. One thing I do is I try to be positive all the time. And I think we're all beautiful in our own way. So any of the ladies that sit here that know me will tell you, most of the time when I greet them, what do I like to call you guys, ladies?
Divas.
Divas, or hi, beautiful. Because it's positive. It helps, it lets that person know that you are warm. If you are just cold and starched, they, maybe, okay, well, let me stay with her a little bit. But by saying that, you let them know that you accept them for who they are, you love them, you celebrate them, and you're not talking negatively or you're not acting in a negative way. You want to all inspire each other. That should be something that you guys do from this point on in your lives, no matter what you do. Inspire, empower other women, because we are what make the world go round. We are what make the economy keep going. We shop. We refer things to people. Linda Einstein owns a shop called Clothes Befitting. She empowers people to wear clothes that fit their body shape. It's all about inspiring and empowering women. And then educate others. If you have some knowledge, or if you see somebody doing wrong, educate them. You shouldn't walk across the street in rush hour traffic. You're going to get hit. Now, we all should know that, but unfortunately, as crazy as the world is today, some people really don't know that. They're going to walk out in traffic. So, you see your friends smoking or do drugs. Educate them. You know what? Don't do that. And then ask for what you need. Don't be passive-aggressive. And passive-aggressive is an indirect way of asking for what you want. Say, I want to go to sleep right now. Don't sit there and go, oh, Kind of like you are now. But say, you said earlier that you're sleepy, so you say what you want and say what you need. If you want to go outside and go to the restroom, I need to go outside and go to the restroom. Don't just, sit here and play the pee-pee dance. Okay, and then make money. Make money. Being a good communicator will help you make money. Now, before I joined Toastmasters, I made money, but I didn't make nearly as much money as I make now. I'm asked to speak at different places, to tell my story, to tell other stories, and I get paid to do that. I get paid to work with clients now, because now I can approach clients and say, this is what I do. Oh, I've been wanting to write a book for a long time. Can you help me? Yes, I can help you. And I can communicate that now, whereas before, after I had my stroke, I couldn't communicate any of that. But now I can. So being able to effectively communicate with others eventually brings you money, because you can go out and, I'm still not a salesperson. I just am not a good salesperson. I know my strengths and my weaknesses. But you may be able to go door to door. Can you buy these candy bars? Or can you donate money to our school? Can you do this and that? By communicating it effectively, you'll get more money. If you go to somebody's door and say, okay, we're raising money for band uniforms. But the person says, well, why do you need band uniforms? Well, okay, well, I can't help you. I gave them yesterday. Well, we need them because we want our team to be cohesive across the board. We're going to be competing in Texas next week, and we really want our team to look good. Okay, well, here's some money. So by being able to communicate effectively, you can make money. Remember, most of all, girls rock, and as Miss Sandra said, Fab who? FabU. You are fabulous. Remember that. Don't let anyone take that away from you. And if anyone here is interested in writing a book, that's my information. It's at the back of your flyer there. Does anyone have any questions? I know you're all tired and ready to eat and ready to stretch out. No questions at all? Okay. Yes. Tell me what you.
What book have books have you published?
I published a book called My Daughter's Keeper, one called Circumstances, one called Revelations. I have 3 coming out this year and some nonfiction books. Question over here. All my books are women-based. Women, they're dealing with women. That's all I'll say. I don't like to be put in a box.
Ladies, Miss Yolanda is still speaking.
But they all deal with the issues that women have. Abuse, low self-esteem, rape, women in the workplace, women in communication, women in customer service, just different things, but they all have to do with women.
Are the books based on your life?
Some of them are loosely based on my life. A lot of it's fiction, but we as writers, we do draw inspiration from our own lives or someone that we know that's in our lives. So yeah, partially yes. Anybody else?
Okay, give me some takeaways from Miss Yolanda's presentation. Anybody? Yes.
Speak clearly.
Speak clearly. Yes.
Make sure that your body language is right so you can get what you want.
That's right. That's right. And I saw her do one of these moves right here. What did she say about this?
It means you give it first.
What? Offensive. And that attitude. Now, I heard her say something about, verbalizing yourself. Don't do the pee-pee dance. You got to go to the bathroom, say, no, listen, I got to go to the restroom. Or, if you're sleepy, say I'm sleepy. But there is a time to do that, and there is a time not to do that. When might you not want to do that? Yes, everybody. When?
During your test.
During your test. So listen, during your speech.
In which case you want to do the Baptist finger and just quietly come out.
Because what I don't want to happen is y'all go back to school Monday. You look at Miss Witherspoon, your teacher, and you say, I'm going to sleep. I was at FabU Academy 10 girl conference, and Miss Yolanda told me to say what I had to say. Don't do that on Monday, okay? You'll show your teachers the proper respect, okay? Did you enjoy Miss Yolanda? You learned a lot.
Johnson-Bryant. I'm that literary lady. I am a literary, publishing, writing, social media, marketing, and entrepreneurial consultant, I'm a published author, and I'm here because I have a passion for seeing young girls make right choices, to help prevent them from making wrong choices. And I'm here to support Sandra. She is a very positive person in the community. And when you have a chance to have someone that's positive, that is out for you, that has your good best interest at heart, you want those people in your circle. And Sandra is a person that you want in your circle. So that's what I'm here. My question is, I'm scared of forwarding messages that say, if I don't send this to however many people, something will happen to you. Are these real? They have a lot on Facebook, and that's why I don't get on very often. Delete, trash. You don't have to participate. Get them delete. If you get too many, the person that's sending them, ask them not to send them anymore. And if they can continue to see it, send them unfriend. It's as simple as that. It's how do you behave in public? I'm not quite sure the premise of this question, but basically, if you wouldn't do it in front of your parents or an authority figure, then don't do it. You said earlier that people are watching you, and it will come back to you whether it's good or bad. So just be good. Just do everything positively. So basically, I think the question is, what do I need to do to get over my fear of stage fright? Basically, practice, practice, practice. Be consistent. If you're in front of someone, just think that they're there to listen to you. Obviously, they came to see what you have to say, and they're interested in what you have to say. Be consistent, and also never apologize if you mess up, because 9 times out of 10, they didn't notice you made a mistake unless you pointed it out.
Amen.
I got it.